with the notes that we took in class, most of my classes did not get to putting the templates into the notebook or creating them to put on a piece of paper to save, maybe saving it in a folder. So I'm going to show you how to create these in notebook templates very quickly. First thing you do, we're going to start with is describe the motion. On this one, you're going to cut the sheet out along the outside of it. So because I don't cut well, and for the purpose of going quickly for the video, I will get mine done so I can show you. You're welcome to pause the video for your cutting purposes. And there we go, and one more quick cut. Don't worry, the next one I've already cut out because it cuts out the same way. So, okay, so now that we have cut around all of the sides, we're going to make one more big cut, and we're going to cut right down the center. So we have two long sides, so we're just separating them, which won't take much. There we go. Okay, and now I'm done with this. I will need some scissors for some smaller cuts, but that'll come in just a moment. Okay, so you've got your two sheets, and they are now separated. So on the dotted lines, you're going to place a fold. And you'll do that for both sheets. So fold there, and then you'll do it again on this one. Okay, so now that you have these folded correctly, now we're going to make the final cut. When you cut, you're going to cut this solid line, but you're not going to cut through. You're going to stop where you folded the paper. So I will show you guys our little cut. And there. So now I'm finished that one. So I've got, it's still all together in one piece. And then I'll do the same with the second one. Okay, now we're done with the scissors for a few minutes. So now we have both of these ready to go. Then what you're going to do is place them on your paper. You can glue them in, or you can use tape, whatever you want. And I already have mine done, so I'm going to just show you kind of the end product here. So I placed them in my notebook that I created for science. And as you can see, this is the one I just cut. You're going to take this little flap and you're going to tape or glue it down. I left mine on the outside. This one I folded in. It does not matter. It works either way just fine. So I taped it down, and then I did the same thing on the other one as I taped it down. So now I've got my little windows, and then I'm going to, it says here, describe the motion. So for the line, when I open it, it says that my line shows that I have a constant speed, which never changes speed. Okay, so this line is straight and constant. The next one is that curved line, and that curved line is my object accelerating. That means it's getting faster. That curve represents that it's starting to go faster. The one over here, we have a straight line, and the straight line represents the object is not moving. That means our time is changing, but the distance is not. And as you can see, we're still recording, so time is still going, but our distance doesn't change up or down. And then on the last one, we have where our object is starting at the origin, and it's moving away from the origin, and then it's turning and going back toward the origin. So that's kind of what I wrote down here. I said the object is turning around and then back, going back to the starting location. So remember velocity. Velocity is a change in position. So this would be describing, this one has a velocity here where we're saying that it had a change in position or direction. Okay, had a change in direction. So that is the first in-notebook template, and that's what it will look like. Then on my next page, I don't have any color with mine yet, this one yet. This one, all I did was cut out the outer portion of it, just like we did on the first one. This one did not need any cuts in the center. I just left mine as a solid sheet and put it down into my notebook. So let's go over what these will look like. Okay, so on this first one, it says, sketch a graph that represents someone driving to McDonald's for lunch, eating for 15 minutes, and then driving home. Okay, so on this one, I felt like I needed to label my time because my time has a 15-minute recording that I need to put in here. Well, I don't want to start, I have to start at 0, and I want to give enough travel time to get there, but then I also need some travel time to get back. So I went ahead and labeled, and the boxes are very difficult to see, so I kind of just guessed at where the lines actually were. I'm going to go ahead and put in there and there. Okay, so for this one, I'm starting at 0, and then I'm going to give myself, since I don't have any boxes to go by, I'm going to say it was about 20 kilometers to get to McDonald's. So that was my traveling to McDonald's. I got to McDonald's. Well, if I'm going to be there, like it says, for 15 minutes, if I got there after 15 minutes of time, then an additional 15 minutes of being there would be 30 minutes. So I'm going to kind of give myself a, there we go. And then I'm going to connect it because then I didn't move when I was there. And now it's time for me to come home, and I'm going to, or I'm heading back to where I was. Maybe I was at work and then I went to McDonald's for lunch, and now I'm headed back to work. Okay, so that's what your graph should look like on this one. So we had travel time, and then we stopped and our time kept going, but our distance didn't change, and then we had a change in velocity because we changed the direction of where we were going. Okay, so that's the first one. Let's look at the second one. Sketch a graph where someone is driving on a country road slowly and then gets on the highway and drives much faster. Okay, well, I don't really need a whole lot of labels as far as my lines go, and since my lines are so hard to see, I'm just going to kind of outline this part really quick, and then I'm going to add, there's my origin because I know that's where everything will start. So I'm just going to kind of, all right, we're going along on this country road, and now we're getting on the highway, and we're going much faster. So that line right there is going to represent, we've got slow, and then we have a change in acceleration, and that's when we are getting faster. Okay, so that's what that one would look like. Let's take a look at the third one down in this corner. It says, sketch a graph that shows someone walking slowly, stops to get on a bike, and then rides away quickly. Okay, well, again, the lines are kind of hard to see, so I'm going to make those a little easier. All right, so on this one, we are going to be a very kind of a medium, gradual slope for our walk. Stopping right here, we're going to get on our bike, And as soon as we get on our bike, we are going to take off. Okay, so that represents walking slowly, stop to get on the bike, and then riding away very quickly. Okay? Let's see. Our next one and the last one that we're going to do. Sketch a graph where someone is accelerating from a red light and then gets stopped by a train. All right. Well, again, kind of give it a little bit easier to see where we're starting at. Okay, so we've got our 0 here. Oops, I forgot my origin over here. All right, so we are gradually accelerating. So we know that when we're accelerating, we have a curved line. Oop, hit the train, and now we have nowhere to go. Okay, so that's going to represent the gradual accelerating, and then when we get stopped, time continues, but our distance does not, and that's why our line is stopped or is straight. Okay, all right, nice job. And I'm going to do a second video, and it will be the second half of our notes covering velocity and time. So that'll be the next one for you guys.